So Julius has some questions that kind of relate to the eyes, and he's wondering about glowing eyes, like at night on a map. So like in game, if it's at night, they're glowing, and then maybe during the day they aren't glowing so much. Is this some sort of
It's
lighting effect, or is that just what it will the glow just be more apparent at night?
pretty much, yeah. Like the glow is just more apparent um, at night or when the character's sort of in shadow or in darkness. But I mean, you can see it here. It's like there's definitely a glow effect going on. Um, I can turn that on and off, and you can see it sort of punching it out still, even though it is technically daylight. Um, yeah, it's just more apparent at night. Um, and it depends on the engine as well. Marmoset actually is real good in its sort of lighting effects and lighting abilities, but um, yeah, I've been on some engines where the glow can get pretty lost in the daylight, just because of the sort of game's lighting, and it's not until sort of at night that you sort of really start to see its full effect. Did you have any other questions, or that was
Still reading here. So he's saying, yeah, you pretty much answered both of his questions there.
cool? So I just cranked the specular scale there, and based on that, you actually start to see now that the specular on the gold areas actually is getting tinted by the map. So it is actually working as intended in that white is no effect, and then as you paint closer towards black, it'll actually start to tint the surface by the diffuse color. You can see the nice gold reflections here, although that could be in part due to this. So actually, this is a good point. Right now, the sort of environment reflection in this scene is this nice sort of villa type effect. When I'm sort of balancing my textures and my spec, I might switch to something a little bit more neutral, just so I can get a better sense of sort of like the local values and colors of things without it getting affected too much by environment lighting. It's more sort of like a neutral studio type setup. Just go with this guy. Same with any lights in your scene. I'm actually going to remove all the color. I'll just keep everything white.
Laura was wondering about your maps. She's saying, so you edit the maps in the PSD and then transfer the information over to a TGA. She says, why not do it all in the TGA file, target file?
Because I have history here. Like I have my folder groupings. I have different layers, different masks. If I need to sort of use this layer to quickly get a selection and then maybe use an adjustment layer to like change it around, I can do that quickly. Whereas if I want to do that on my TGA, I'm just locked to like these channels. There's no other layers. There's nothing. It's just like completely flattened down. And you don't want to be working that way. These sort of maps typically are sort of like your final asset maps, and this is what the game is actually going to be using to render all the information. And you kind of, in a studio environment, you kind of want your sort of scene file and then sort of like your outputted assets, whether it's like a 3D mesh or like a texture in this case. So this is kind of like your Maya file, and these are the outputted things from that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Plus, you've got all the information in here that not only helps you, but other people in the studio if they need to open up your map and do things. Okay. So things are still feeling quite glossy in all of my maps, especially since I cranked up that specular scale. So 1 is probably a little bit too low. Yeah, I might just double it for now. And just noticed I missed a spot under here. Just tweaking this metal still. Starting to feel a little bit better now. I think so. We're getting like a nice gold highlight on it.